What is going on, Bucs fans, NCFP fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, we're going to be continuing our positional group previews before the training camp that the Buccaneers will embark on later this summer. But today, we are going to be talking about the inside linebackers. And again, I am not alone. I am joined by the one and only Mr. James Hill, a.k.a. Mr. Bucs Nation. James, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Inside linebackers, baby. I'm excited to talk about that and happy to be here for yet another video.
There we go. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I do think there's a couple of interesting storylines here. Obviously, the big one that we're not going to mention is Devin White, right? It's he's played 5 years with the team, is no longer on the football team. So, the one that we will not mention is Devin White. He departed, which, to the surprise of nobody, right? I don't think many people expected him to be back after the season that he had. But, Devin White's no longer here. The Buccaneers are moving on. And how are they going to replace him? Because while Devin White had his struggles, he played a lot of snaps for the football team. Like, he played a lot and did a lot of different things for this team, right? Whether it was coverage or blitzing or, spying the quarterback, whatever it may be. He did a lot of different things. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. And the guy who's probably the front runner to replace Devin White right away, K.J. Britt, Lavonte David. I think he's an okay player. Kalen DeLoach, an undrafted free agent out of Florida State, which I know a lot of fans are excited. The Florida State thing, I think, but a lot of people think he has a lot of potential as well. Servassier Dennis heading into, I believe, year 2. Antonio Greer Jr., who's an undrafted free agent. V. Jones, who has a couple years of experience, and J.J. Russell, who's been on the team for a little bit now. So that is the linebackers. James, when you're looking at this group from just overall, how would you rate this group right now compared to, say, what last year's group was, which was essentially the same guys except, plus Devin White, basically?
Yeah, it's an interesting group. We've talked about the defensive line and how, like, one guy, I'm not going to say can make or break, right? In the case of like Logan Hall being starter is a question mark. Well, that second inside linebacker position is a bit of a question mark. Now, I will say, I think KJ Britt has more momentum in his favor, and has shown a good bit more upside than Logan Hall so far to this point. Because a lot of people may forget, but KJ Britt,
my guy Logan Hall is catching strays.
Well, look, I'm sorry, but I say this, KJ Britt started 4 games last regular season whenever Devin White was hurt, and then he wasn't hurt, but then he was sad that he was going to get benched. So then he just
KJ Britt was essentially the starter for both playoff games,
and he was the
Devin White was active,
and he was the starter for both playoff games, and he played well in those games, I think, all things considered. Was he picked on a little bit in that Detroit Lions game? Sure. So was Zion McCollum. He's starting now as well.
We'll talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure, we'll talk about him in a separate video, or you will, or whatever ends up happening. But point being, though, is that, I think KJ Britt has shown enough in an extremely limited quantity, by the way, which is worth noting as well. But, he's shown some good stuff, right? He has shown good coverage ability, good tackling ability. He might be able to be, a guy next to Lavonte David for a year, and then maybe something after that. Now, I agree with you. He is the front runner. Another guy who I thought impressed me in a limited fashion last year was J.J. Russell. He came in when, the entire room was hurt. I mean, you had him and Ryan Neal as your starting linebackers. That's crazy.
It was, wasn't it that Colts game where Lavonte was hurt?
Yep.
And I think that was that game, right, where a lot of those guys had to play.
Lavonte was hurt. Devin was hurt still at the time. KJ Britt got hurt, I believe, in the game. V. Jones was in there. And JJ Russell was in there. I think V. Jones got hurt at some point. Or maybe V. Jones wasn't. I don't remember. Or Servassier Dennis was in there. I think Servassier Dennis got hurt at some point. Then you had JJ Russell and Ryan Neal. I don't think maybe V. Jones was there, but
V. Jones, I don't think he's played a game yet.
Okay.
So it's 2022. He's with Seattle. That's all I got.
Okay. So maybe he was on the practice squad at that point. I don't remember. But I do remember JJ Russell did have to play a little bit. And I was like, okay, this young man's got a little something to his game right now. He's playing with a lot of heart and ability. And really when I think about this linebacking position, I think of 4 guys. Lavonte David is the 1, KJ Britt is the 2, probably Servassier Dennis is the 3. Although, like, I know it's only been 1 year, but like we haven't seen a ton of Servassier Dennis so far up to this point. And JJ Russell at the 4. And then if you keep 5, like maybe Kalen DeLoach is in there, but like also maybe V Jones is in there as well. But like I feel pretty solid about those 4 linebackers. But it is still a bit of a question.
Yeah, I would say those 4 definitely are. I mean, 100% the 3, right, are locked into roster spots at least, right? Where they play is one thing. Like, there could be fans of, Servassier Dennis where like, I don't really see it with KJ Britt. I'd rather give Servassier Dennis a shot. Like, I would understand that. KJ Britt was drafted a few years ago. Like, KJ Britt has had a lot of opportunities, to play. Maybe not this amount of playing time. But he's had a lot more opportunities. I think some people, kind of like the new shiny or toy, right, in Servassier Dennis, to see what he can bring to the table. So I do agree with you that I think those are probably the 4 that are definitely to make the roster. Kalen DeLoach, maybe a guy, maybe Antonio Greer Jr., V Jones, another guy in there. That's to be determined, but
I feel like one of those guys is going to be on the practice squad.
Probably maybe 2. I mean, it all depends. You never know. And a lot of it, we're recording this before training camp, right? Before anything even happens. So a lot of those things are going to be determined in camp. But obviously, we're not going to spend a ton of time on Lavonte David. You know what he brings to the table. I will ask you this, though. And this is kind of putting you on the spot. Because I did want to bring up Lavonte David a little bit in this conversation. We're talking about inside linebackers. You can't talk about inside linebackers with the Buccaneers if you're not talking about Lavonte David. Do you think this is Lavonte David's last season in red and pewter?
I thought last year was. I thought 2 years ago was, man. Like I've been on the he's gonna retire train for like 2 years in a row now.
No, let me get that. I don't mean play for another team. I think that ship has sailed. I don't think he's gonna be playing for another team, but I think a year-to-year basis right now for Lavonte David.
Yeah, like I thought he was gonna retire like 2 years ago. So I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna say yes every year until I'm right. So
yeah,
I think it's
I have a feeling this might be it.
Yeah, like hell of a I've seen some people say like in the national media that his plays dropped off a little bit.
I'm naturally sure, but is he what he was 6 years ago? No, but like
none of us are, I mean, heck,
damn good football player still.
I was 78 6 years ago, like,
178, but
yeah, well, that's true. So I mean, like, yeah, like has his play fallen off a little bit? Yeah, but like he's still top half linebacker.
Still a damn good football player. Like,
yeah, man.
Come on.
Yeah, so I mean, like. It's
you can still he's so good that you can still now. I mean, I don't think he is anymore, but you can still make an argument that he's the best player on the defense. You can make. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying make an argument. You can make an argument.
It's either him or Antoine Winfield Jr. That's it.
It's Antoine Winfield Jr.
It is Antoine, but like that's it though. Like I don't think you can put Lavonte David lower than 2 right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's incredible.
Like Vita Vea's, I don't know,
it's
man.
Close, but like that's incredible though for him to do that this long. It's pretty incredible.
But I think it's his last year. And like I feel fine saying that because James Hill feels confident. I mean, I'm wrong. I'm going to keep on saying it and being wrong until I'm eventually right. I mean,
maybe he's Tom Brady. He's going to play till 45. How about that?
Well, hell, he ain't going to do that. Dude, I think that he was probably like 50-50 this year.
I think he was, yeah.
About retiring. Like, but, that's a good question because, like, let's say, like, something doomsday scenario, like, where Lavonte, and I don't want this to happen. Obviously, none of us do, but, like, what if it's just like, yep, Lavonte is 34 this year. He's just pretty dang bad this year. That's not great for the inside linebacker position, man. That's not good.
That's not good. Great. Let's not put that out into the stratosphere. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. How about that?
I'm knocking on my wooden desk here.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think Lavonte David is going to be hanging him up anytime soon, or is he going to continue to be the Buccaneers Iron Man of sorts? I believe he's the longest tenured Buccaneer, right? Because Will Golson was 2013, Lavonte was 2012, so I think he's the longest tenured Buck.
Will Golson was 2011, I think.
No, 2013, dude.
Was he?
Yes.
I'm checking. Hold on. Oh shit, you're right.
Yep. See.
Wow.
It's the first time.
Cut that.
That, folks, is going to wrap up this positional group preview. As you've heard words you've never heard out of Mr. Bucs Nation. James Hill, thank you very much for joining me for this episode, I guess. I'm all flustered now. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Lavonte David's going to hang it up soon? Do you think this is last year? I'm not really sure. I do think it's 50-50 again. If I had to lean,
you want me to be honest?
I'd say yes.
I'd be like, I'm like pretty positive.
Okay. Well, you were pretty positive last year too, so.
And I keep on being wrong.
Yeah, but you're also pretty positive Tom Brady wasn't going to the Buccaneers. I have that on record too. So. There's literally a video on your channel that's like. But anyways, all right, we are getting off track here. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Do you think KJ Britt is going to be the starter? Do you think it's going to be Servassier Dennis? Curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think Kalen DeLoach out of Florida State has some potential? Do you like JJ Russell like James does? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go Bucs.